Varsity Club, welcome back to another classic. And today, the Pines are about to have the best season they've ever had. We won 25 more games in year 2 than in year 3, and it was an absolute blast. We just didn't quite finish above 500, and there's still lots of work to be done. But I really feel like our team is the deepest it has ever been. We have depth across every single spot. A couple of spots in the outfield I want to really shore up. Some infield spots, yes, probably a catcher getting a little bit younger. There's not as much work to be done as I might have thought originally. If you're hyped for this episode and love this content, do me a favor, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment down below, leave a thumbs up in the video. It helps out a ton. I'm jumping right into the offseason. Robinson Cano is retiring, as well as Albert Pujols, who is apparently a free agent. Hate to see that, but still, two legends in the game. Rightfully so, both are in the Hall of Fame. Maybe not Cano because of the steroid stuff, but probably Pujols. Now, because our season went pretty well, we've got a $50 million surplus in our budget, which is great. Tony Walters is the only guy out of here that I really want to make a contract offer for. Castillo, Kurt Suzuki, Yadier Molina are all incredibly old. We just had them on the roster for depth. We're not bringing them back. So we're going to go ahead and make a nice little offer here. This man wants a qualifying offer of 1 year, $19.6 million. No, we will not be doing that at all. So we're going to say for him, it's a platoon role. He's 35 years. On second thought, no thank you. We're not going to offer you a contract. A lot of you may not know that we have some of the most expensive staff members probably of all time on our team. We're paying our starting guy, our manager, over $5 million, 1.4 for our hitting goal. I mean, we're paying, look at this. Every single person has pluses across the board. No one has any minuses on their stuff, and I'm hoping that translates to more wins. I have a couple of guys that need salary arbitration. Vlad Guerrero Jr. is definitely one of those guys. So I want to make sure that he's happy going into this season. So let's take care of him. Now we're going to assume that Vlad Guerrero Jr. keeps doing a little bit better. Arbitration, they say, is roughly 1 to 3 years, $4-ish million. I want a 4-year deal for him. We're going to offer him 31 mil. Is it dumb? Probably. He wants a whole lot more if he went to, a free agent market. I want to make sure he's good here. We're going to give him 4 years, 31 million, tell him he's a star, and just pray to God that he wants it. Now, one thing we wanted to make sure we locked up was our closing pitching. So a massive deal for Edwin Diaz, the top closing pitcher in the market, 5 years, 55 million. He has a player option in there as well. I'm hoping we bring him back, but still, this is a guy that can get the job done. We saw what he did last year with a 1.82 ERA. We needed this. Another massive deal comes out of free agency with Sonny Gray on a 3-year, $88.2 million deal to the Brewers. They're trying to beef up that staff, and that's a big way to do it. Aaron Judge takes a huge deal going to Houston, 8 years, $245 million. Keep in mind he's 30, so this is taken until he's 38. It's a huge, huge contract for a dude that hits a lot of home runs, but definitely strikes out a lot too. Another massive piece. We needed better defense. We needed a guy that had speed, that could hit a little home runs here and there. Ketel Marte is going to be coming to Portland. This is another big signing. Max Muncy has a pretty solid deal here. 2 years, $27.6 million to go to the Angels. Josh Bell, the home run hitter, is going to go to Minnesota, where he's going to help bolster that lineup as well in a 3-year, $42 million deal. Tim Anderson leaves Chicago and goes to New York, the Evil Empire. 4 years, almost $40 million. The Yankees just keep getting better. Padres hit a lot of home runs, and they're about to hit even more. We'll see what JD Martinez ultimately does for them, but 1 year, pretty much an $18 million deal. He's old, but the dude can still play. And one of the last big massive deals here is Byron Buxton on a 5-year, $135.5 million deal. There's been so much movement right now, I kind of love it. Now, for any Victor Mesa fans we have, I'm sorry, we traded him and one of our backup catchers that we got, and we've got MJ Melendez, which I think this guy's gonna be our catcher of the future. 8 potential. He played pretty well for Boston in the previous season. 4 home runs, 10 RBIs, only played 26 games. Batting average is terrible. I see that, but we're gonna give him some time. He's gonna be behind Jacob Stallings. Stallings is older now. We can transition him in, give him a little bit of playing time here and there. He's also a lefty, which we sorely need. We have so many righties. I'm excited about this kid. And we do see a major trade also coming in here. The Nationals are going to have a major trade with the Astros. They get Jose Altuve for Josh Donaldson and Jeffrey Rodriguez. It's an interesting move, and the Nationals seem to be acquiring a lot of players recently. The Orioles also have Jake Cronenworth to a 3-year, $6 million deal. He really sat there for a long time, didn't like any of the offers, but finally he chose to go to the Orioles for whatever reason. As it currently stands, we are in a little bit of a deficit. We've signed a lot of players. We've got to really get rid of somebody. Someone sitting in a spot that kind of makes it easy to do that. Joey Lucchesi is a $2.8 million deal. We can get rid of him and free up enough room to have about $700,000 in bandwidth. I think as we win games and bring in more fans, we'll be fine, but we've got to get him up out of here. And in doing so, we're about to make an absolute steal. The Mariners are interested in Joey Lucchesi, however you say his name, because they need a starting pitcher bad. We are interested in Jarred Kelenic, who they have mistreated so far in his young career. We'll treat him right here. We got ourselves a new center fielder of the future. Thank you. So going into spring training, here's what our team looks like in year 3. We got Bobby Witt Jr., Ke'Bryan Hayes, Carlos Correa, Vlad Guerrero Jr., Anthony Santander, Clint Frazier, Jalen Miller, Ketel Marte, and Jacob Stallings. On the bench, we're going to be having MJ Melendez, Nick Pratto, Riley Green, Willie Velez, Taylor Trammell, Jarred Kelenic, Ji-Hwan Bae, and Lolo Sanchez, along with Vesperis, Mountcastle, and Siani. Again, a deeper roster going into spring training, but a lot of the names from last season will be rejoining us. Some of these guys go back to AAA, AA. It'll be fine. From a pitching standpoint, we have Luis Severino, Jose Barrios, Jesus Luzardo, Tristan McKenzie, and Hunter Green. Obviously, I'm going to see what we do. I think JC Cloney maybe could come in and start over Hunter Green. We'll give him a shot. But dude, those 100 miles an hour, I want to give him an opportunity to shine. At the end of the bullpen, we got Pop and Cloney, DJ Shelley, who should be playing in the majors this year. Leon Santos, Edwin Diaz should actually be our closing pitcher. I don't know why he's not there. Mike Mayer, Stephen Brault, Lucas Sims, Biddle, Feliz, who was a stud last season. And then again, Diaz now officially is our closer. Let's see what they can do. I'm hoping for some positivity, but I want to see who shines and who doesn't. So in the Grapefruit League, our team wasn't the best team, but we definitely weren't the worst. We were 13-14, which again, not bad. We're getting a lot of people playing for the first time, but let's see how they did. For our pitching rotation, Severino goes 3-2. He had a high ERA, but again, spring training, I'm hoping he works those kinks out. Barrios goes 2-1 with a 3.19 ERA. You see Luzardo go 2-0. McKenzie also goes 2-0 with a great ERA of 1.67, and then Hunter Green 2-1 with a 4.91 ERA. Similar ERA to last year, but I'm willing to give him a shot. On the bullpen side, one thing that sticks out to me is JC Cloney went 0-3 with a 7.36 ERA. As much as I want to give him the starting job, I think Green, at least for now, gets the nod. And Diaz, again, 0-1, so he blew one save, but at 13 strikeouts, 2.70 ERA. I'm okay with those numbers for now. Looking at our lineups here, Bobby Witt Jr., 196, 280 for Ke'Bryan Hayes, 253. Okay, looks like Correa and Vladimir Guerrero Jr. were doing well. Same thing for Santander. We see a great average there by Clint Frazier. Would love to see him be above 300 this year. Jalen Miller played pretty well too with 4 home runs. A lot of RBIs here from Ketel Marte. 7 home runs and a 415 average. Okay, I think he was worth it. And then Jacob Stallings, 4 home runs, 9 RBIs, lower average, but again, we're not expecting a ton from him. Melendez kind of struggled a little bit. Same thing with Pratto. Riley Green played really well, surprisingly. 27 at-bats, batted 370. We're seeing 214 from Velez. Trammell was okay. Kelenic was actually pretty solid at 207 and really his first stint with us right now. Bae was 219. Sanchez definitely struggled, but he had limited at-bats. So for the most part, we see that these guys were fine. Mountcastle, though, played well in limited at-bats as well. I think he'll be on the day 1 roster. So if you look at what our budget ultimately is, we have about 7.3 million in budget. 2.3 million is what we're sort of expected to have at the end of the day. We are paying top dollar for player salaries. We are paying top dollar for coaches. We are trying to get the playoffs this season. We need it. And our opening day lineup will look like this. Ketel Marte will be leading off. Mountcastle with second. Third is Correa. Guerrero Jr. is going to be sitting there at 4. Santander, Frazier, Ke'Bryan Hayes, Jalen Miller, and Melendez. I think Ke'Bryan Hayes here is fine. We may move him up a little bit more, but I need his contact and power to be a little bit better before we put him in the top half of the lineup. But now having him in the 7 hole is honestly a good problem to have. And again, you'll notice Melendez is going to be starting for us initially, but this is against right-handed pitchers. When we face lefties, we'll have Jacob Stallings in there. We'll cycle in some guys. We have Stallings, Witt Jr., Ji-Hwan Bae, Lolo Sanchez is our guys coming off the bench. Some movement probably to be made, but for now, that's what we got. For our pitching rotation, nothing has changed. Severino, Barrios, Luzardo, McKenzie, and Hunter Green will be our guys going day 1. This is an exciting season, but it is a season that if we don't win and do well, we might get fired. Be safe, be smart, tell somebody you love them. Catch you guys in the next one.